Hey there, it's Kimberly here with Knit for Brains, and I have a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about today. So stay tuned to this episode of Kimberly with Knit for Brains. Okay, let me show you what I worked on this week. So you guys know I got the new Addy machine. You were like, you got another one? You purposely broke this intro. Purposely is a strong word. I might have shoved it a couple times. Nah, I mean, honestly, I didn't. It just doesn't seem to work quite as well. But this was the hat that I wanted to make. I know it's super long, but that's okay. I wanted to make this hat. This is using the Premier Fusion yarn that I had a couple weeks ago. And I was like, dude, I love these colors. It's just a plain old acrylic, but I just knitted this thing. It took me like 10 minutes to get this baby done. Now I know people are like, you can do so many more things on those Addy machines. I know, I just wanted to kind of get used to the machine and how comfortable it was and stuff like that. But I love this. It's just a double, two-sided, right? So I took, this was one whole skein. So I thought it was going to be big. This one skein was like, here, I'll show it to you. So I used this yarn, different color. It's a weight of 3. It is 325 yards. So I know I used too much, but I actually wanted it. I wanted it double. I'm probably making it for my husband or my brother-in-law. So, they got a little bit of a bigger walnut than we do. So this is 325 yards. That's what I ended up using. It's a weight of 3. It is the Premier Color Fusion DK. And I really like this. I actually liked this so much as I was making it. I thought this, as much as I say that I don't like acrylic sweaters, this would make actually a really cute sweater, just like maybe a boat neck sweater that goes, like a raglan sweater. This actually could be really cute. I mean, I loved the color transitions here. So it comes up to that blue. It's got some really cool colors, and to me, it feels kind of sporty, sort of fun. It's really soft. So you might end up seeing me get this yarn again, but getting enough to make a sweater. So basically it's like this guy here, and then that's what the transitions look like. But I actually really liked this. So I made this guy here, and this was maybe 20 minutes. I'm watching the show on Netflix right now called The Octopus Conspiracy, I think it is. And I basically was able to make this and another hat in like one of the episodes. So that was pretty good. So this is what else I made on my new Addy machine. I had this yarn for a really long time. It was a Lion's brand. It was an ice cream. The label is downstairs. It's an older yarn, but it's ice cream, but it's also cotton. Isn't this adorable? And again, this is a double. Now, this was a lot smaller skein. This was like 200 and some odd yards. So I made the hat. Let me show you. So love the hat, double. And then I made it with this matching cowl. Look how cute. So I just double stranded. These are 2 skeins. One skein for this, added a little pom-pom on a button up here, and then one little skein down here. So as you guys know, we live in Southern California, so we don't get a lot of cold, but we're taking this really epic trip to Ireland, Scotland, England in June, mid-June to mid-July. And then we're actually going to sail home from Southampton to New York City on the Queen Elizabeth, one of the Queen ships, Cunard. It's a Cunard ship. But I don't know what the weather's going to look like. Now, you all maybe who live in the UK might be laughing at me going, dude, you're not going to need that. Or you're going to be like, oh, you're so going to need that. So I'm making everybody like hats and scarves just in case there's a day where it's raining or it's cold or it's overcast, because we're going to be in some really kind of remote and cool parts, and Scotland's way north. So I'm making everybody these cute hats and stuff. But I love this one. I've been wanting to make this for a while. So again, this is on the Addy machine, and I made both of these in like probably about 45 minutes total once you get it all on and then seamed off. But it's so cute. That being said, I do plan on making a lot of other really cool things on my Addy machine. I'm actually making a sweater. It's called a smoking jacket, which I'm going to show you here in a second because I got the yarns. I just kind of wanted to get a feel for the machine, see how it worked, and kind of get some nice, small little manageable projects done, see how that was working. So let me show you what else I did. So I finished the Cinnamon Swirl, the skeins by Caron, and I had the 4 skeins. I had the berry swirl, the jam swirl and the strawberry. And I was like, yeah, I'm just whatever. I'm just going to make it because I love this jacket. I actually love it. It took me like 2 or 3 days over the weekend, super, super fast. Y'all were cracking me up. You have to know, if you watch my channel enough, you have to know that I love color. I have color everywhere, right? Everything I make has color. But that Harry Styles cardigan, now I'm going to tell you right now, I agree with you. It's not my favorite. I followed the pattern. The pattern kind of sucked. It's still sitting over there thinking about itself. I'm just kind of like, I'm just going to put it over there. I just have to do the panels down the front. But y'all were like, is there a vertical hole button for that? And it makes my eyes hurt. And you did a great job with it, but that's the most horrendous thing I've ever seen. And I was like, I love your honesty. I absolutely love it. And it's not that I don't even disagree with you. It's a loud sweater. It's a loud, loud sweater. And it's not everybody's taste. But you guys, I loved the comments. You all are genuine. You all are being real. And it just spoke to my heart. And I was cracking up. So anyways, thank you for that. Now you hopefully will not feel the same way about this guy that I just finished. So let me show you what this looks like. All right, so this is the Caron Cakes, the cinnamon swirls. This is 4 skeins. I have about, I don't know, I probably have like 300 yards left, maybe like 100 out of each one left. But this is what I ended up making with it. This is my hexagonal sweater, which I love. I basically did the hexagonals to here, and then I added on the borders all the way. So it actually turned out pretty long. You guys can see it goes pretty far back past my butt, my bottom, right? Goes like that. But I love it. And then I just added the little cuffs on the ends and then just the ribbing in here. It's supposed to be just like, you know, a fun thing I can wear with jeans or kind of hang, but this is how those colors transition. So this was one of the skeins. So you can see the color blocks, how they go. It started with a green and then it went all the way up into the purple. And then it went into this blue heathered look and then it went down the purple. So you can see there was pretty long color transitions. And then it ended down there on the green again. So actually, I don't even hate how that turned out. I just realized that kind of matched up. Cool. All right. I dig it. I really do. It's nice and blue. See, it turned out more like a kimono than it did, you know, anything fitted, which is fine. Like I said, I'll wear it with jeans. But I love the colors. Really, really love the colors. So as much as I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like it. It's fun. It's funky. I hope you guys don't think this is as crazy as the other sweater because this you might see me wearing. Yeah, I like it though. And I like how the colors transition and I just sewed up the seams. So it was just literally 2 hexagonal squares that I sewed together down the center. And then I just added on this border down here. I really dig it. And it took no time at all. I mean, no time whatsoever. But you can see here the seams went right down the center. I just did that nice mattress stitch all the way down the back. And I was able to keep that blue all the way down. And that actually wasn't very hard to do. It wasn't difficult to keep these colors together. I do like how all the colors worked together. I had 2 of the strawberry twist, 1 of the gem swirls, and 1 of the berry swirls or the berry twists, I think it was. If you guys were looking at this yarn, I know there was a couple of you, even She's Got Yarn was looking at this. I love it. I love how the colors all went together. And I didn't think I was going to end up making something like this big with it. But yeah, it's fun. It's really, really fun. So this guy is a done deal. Just wanted to see how these colors worked up. So yay. We'll put that guy over there. I am making really, really great progress on my whips. I'm impressed with myself. And it's really all because of this channel, because I'm like, I got to finish this puppy. I got to get it done. I got to show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm not really giving myself a huge break. On Friday, here's one thing. I'm just going to be honest with you. Here's one of the things that I absolutely hate. 2 things I hate. A, making swatches. I hate it. In my head, I'm thinking, if you gave me the pattern and you tell me which yarn to use and you tell me which hook to use, and I'm using all the same ingredients that you gave me with this recipe, shouldn't my cookies come out the same as yours? Why do I need to make a swatch? It's like, why do I need to do a test batch of cookies if I have all the right ingredients? So I kind of feel like I trust that it's going to turn out. I hate swatches. Anyways, that's one thing. Second thing I hate doing is winding yarn. Oh my God. I got it because I have to, it's a whole process. So I can't just set everything up just to do like one skein. I have to set it up and plan on doing pretty much the day of winding out a bunch of skeins. So I had to wind out this yarn because I had to finally start on this shirt that I'm making for my son. Everybody was like, when are you going to start that thing? And I'm like, okay, fine. It's actually going a lot faster than I thought it was going to go. So this is using that Egyptian cotton, and it's by Fibre Naturals. I got it at on Webs, but I found out on Premier, their website, that they're actually offering this yarn as a sale as well. So these are the two colors that I'm using for this shirt. This is, again, the Fibre Natural. This is Radiant Cotton. It is a weight of 3. Here it tells you. It's 100% Egyptian cotton, and it is 203 yards per skein. I love how it's feeling. It's got some really beautiful drape in it as it's draping down, and this is just a granny stitch all the way across. I did find a pattern that I just kind of wanted to, mostly I'm doing it just for the measurements, because I'm going to do the front is going to be different, but the back is pretty much what I wanted to do. So I just kind of wanted to use it more as like a training wheels to make sure I had my measurements, because I'm going to make it in an XL for my son. But it's coming along really fast. It's literally just 5 rows of granny strips, right? Not a granny square, a granny strip. So this is what they're calling a half cluster. So it's basically 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets all the way around. And then in the corners, you do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets to give yourself that corner. And then you just do the 5. Now that was to expand out, and then you just start going down for the length. So the back, it's actually going to be done pretty quick, a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. I was nervous. I was nervous about starting this. I think it's because, I knew that I was really copying a pattern of like a shirt, and it was for my son, and then, something else from like his girlfriend, and I wanted it to look stylish. I didn't want them to go, oh, I'm wearing a crocheted sweater that his mother made, So I was nervous about starting out with it and just making sure, and then how to use the yarn and making sure that my tension was tight enough, good enough so that it didn't look loose, that the stitches looked consistent. So I think I was just a little bit reticent about starting it, but I dig it. So this is going to go across the back, and then it's so simple. You make 1 back panel, 2 front panels, and then 2 arms. And that's it. So I'll be done with this a lot sooner than I thought I was going to be. But again, it's called Fibre Natural. And I found this on Webs, but I just found it on sale on Premier. Now, they don't have all the colors. I haven't looked at Webs in quite a while, so I don't know if they still have all the same colors. On the Premier site, this is normally like $11.99. I think it was a skein, maybe, and now it's down to like $5.49 or $5.99. So that was good. It was under their clearance tab on Premier Yarns, and I might have done some more shopping on Premier. I don't know. I somehow just recently came across these guys, and they have universal yarns. They have Bamboo Pop. They have a lot of brands and lines that I've looked at and really enjoyed using before. And I was like, wow, okay. Anyways, so they did have this color. This is called cream or custard, or, depending on what language you're looking at, right? So I think they did have this, and they also had, I'm using a navy blue, which they called like a heathered blue or something like that. They had that. They didn't have this. This was called sage. They didn't have this one, and they didn't have the rosy, I'm doing a rosy mauve color. They didn't have that, but they did have the red. I got this cranberry color, and they did have that as well. So if you're interested, take a look and see. Again, we're moving into those summer yarns. I talked about that last week, about a lot of the summer yarns that I've got. This is a Premier Afternoon Cotton. Very, very similar to the Fibre Natural that I'm also using. This, I believe, is also an Egyptian cotton. Oh, it's a mer-sized Egyptian cotton. Yeah. Much smaller ball. This is 136, and this was 203. But I did get some of this to make a summer top for myself. I also got some of the Loops and Threads, the rayon from Bamboo. This is brand new from Loops and Threads. I got that. I got this color in the Premier Afternoon Cotton, just enough to make like a cute little tank or something. And then this one I'm excited to start with. This is the Bamboo and Cotton and Linen from Lion Brand. So transitioning out of those warm, thick, woolly yarns like these guys and moving into a lot of the summer yarns. And you all were really enjoying that I was bringing you some of those and what we were talking about. So good. I'm glad that my input helped. But again, you don't have to do acrylics. You know, these are all very, very affordable yarns. 5 something for a skein. That's a really good deal for 203 yards. You can make yourself a beautiful shell or top, camisole, cardigan, whatever you want to do. It's just a pin. I mean, would I make a whole man's sweater in this? Maybe not. But for this, like this is going to be a top, kind of a drapey top. Yeah, I'm really digging this. I love how you guys can see how it just sort of drapes and hangs. That's the yarn. This is what I'm talking about. It holds its shape, but it has what they call a luxurious drape, meaning it hangs nicely. You know, it doesn't look too stiff. This pattern that I did find on Etsy to kind of get an idea, they used an acrylic in this pattern. Now, to me, I look at that and I can see that's done in acrylic, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wouldn't have done that. To me, this pattern speaks having something. This is a nice, you know, like I said, a luxurious. Moving on, luxurious is the word of the day. Bye-bye. A lot of people say, where do you get all your inspiration from? Pinterest mostly. I go through Pinterest. I just pour over Pinterest. You know, I get up in the morning and Britt is still sleeping next to me. So I get up, I get my tablet, I get my phone, I check my emails, I respond to comments on some of the videos and things like that. And then I start perusing Pinterest to come up with ideas, different ideas for yarns that I have and, you know, what's stylish. So it's really more like garments and things that I'm doing. Everybody kind of has their own little niche, if you will. Mimi Makes, I think is the name of her channel. And she makes these adorable little plushies, and she's doing a bunch of Easters, a bunch of bunnies, and she does a lot of craft shows. I don't do craft shows. I don't have the time, the bandwidth, the energy to go and set up a booth and to sit there and make a bunch of, that's just not me. Bless you, those who do have it, and go to those people and go and buy them. That's just not my shtick. And right now, what I seem to be really enjoying is making garments for myself, for my family members, for people that, you know, enjoy it. So that's kind of where I'm at. They don't seem to take as much time as a Afghan does, but they're a little bit less time than a scarf. And then I'm kind of mixing it up and bringing in, you know, some of the hats on my knitting machines and different things like that. So each one of my projects can take me about 2 to 3 days right now. And I'm really happy with that kind of a time frame. I can turn them around really quickly. So that's kind of where I'm at, but everyone's got their own thing that they enjoy making. I'd love to know what it is that you enjoy making. Do you enjoy making Afghans? I know some of you make Afghans and you just donate them, which is wonderful. God bless you. I mean, save one for yourself that you get to enjoy. Some people like to make little amigurumis. I'm not as much into amigurumis just because I don't have little ones to give them to. However, there is a pattern maker on Etsy. I have purchased several of her patterns. I think it's called Muffle Lumps or Muffin, something like that. Anyway, she just came out with a book and she does gnomes. She makes the most adorable gnomes for every occasion, St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day and Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving and whatever. And her patterns are super, super cute. And she's just coming out with a new book. So I did pre-order it. So when that comes around, I will bring it to you and show you. And I've got a couple other Knit Monsters. It's another designer that I really like. I think it's actually done by a dude, which is even more fun. But I have like body organs. I have little balloon animals. I just haven't actually done anything like that. I have the, what do they call it, where I have more patterns than I have time in my life for. But so I do have some. It's just not always my thing. Like, you know, right now I made this little Sophia. A long time ago I made her. So she's got some issues. From the Golden Girls. Remember I had that little thing. So I made her. But I've never finished the rest of the Golden Girls pattern. This is her little eyeglass chain that goes over here. This is my little Sophia with her little hair. So she sits here. I need to finish my Golden Girls. I need to finish my Friends amigurumi set. I need to finish those. Those are my whips. That's me saying, hello, my name is Kimberly and I have some whips. Anyways, that being said, that sweater is in process. That is currently now a whip, work in progress. Some new books that just came out onto the scene. Well, okay, this one is new. This one just came out last week. It is published by Lion Brand, but it's called My Crocheted Home, and it's by Selena Baca. Found it on Amazon. It just came out like earlier this month in March. So I went ahead and pre-ordered it. It's a very, very thin book. I will include the link below, but it's got some beautiful patterns in here using predominantly the Lion Brand yarn. But you got this cute little throw. You've got a caddy here, a placemat runner, a granny chevron throw, a hanging plant basket. Here's the arrowwood throw. It's similar to the mix and match modern Afghan patterns from SME Crick, that book that I was working on last year. But I thought this would actually be really great with the Schitt's Creek yarn. They end up using in this book the Lion Brand yarn Hue and Me, bulky weight of a 5. But you know, you can do whatever you want. With an Afghan, you could do a 4, you could do a 5. And that Lion's Brand, the Schitt's Creek, is a little bit more of a thicker 4. That's this guy right here, which I thought that was interesting looking. And then this, I've never seen anything like this. This is a crocheted caddy. And here you're using the macrame yarn. So the macrame yarn, again, by Lion's Brand. I actually have some of those little hoops. Here's a little placemat using the yarn, the Rewind. I have some of that. So these are really great, simple, fun, fast patterns. And this is actually cool. I like that a lot. This book popped up and I thought, yeah, I could actually do that. I could, order that. This Granny Square chevron throw is using the Lion's Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick Super Bulky. So that's what they're doing here. And it looks sort of like a blacks and white, they call it Moonlight and Metropolis. So kind of the blacks and the white colors. Very fun, and to me look like very easy patterns. And they introduced some macrame in this book as well. This is the macrame recycled cotton, and that looks, this is actually crocheted. So even though it looks like macrame, these are adorable. Kind of speaks to me boho. Boho is 70s retro. I mean, let's just call it what it is. So all these young little bloods around thinking, ooh, boho, I'm boho and I'm cool and I'm hip. Darling, I love you, but welcome to the 70s. Those were the colors, the macrame, all of it was back in the 70s. And I am personally thrilled to see that stuff coming back. I'm kind of that boho chick, if you can't really see here in the background. I kind of am a boho chick. So I love all of this. These little plant cozies, now that you could make up within an hour. If you're going to someone's house as a housewarming, super cute idea. And then just give himself like a little succulent, throw a little plant or something inside there. Great idea. Christmas gifts, if you want to do that. Birthday gifts. This book kind of spoke to me as great birthday gifts, things that don't take up a lot of yarn. This one I found very interesting. Again, boho 70s screaming. This is using the Lion's Brand Ice Cream Roving and the limited edition. Isn't that cool? Now, you've seen me open up some of the Lion sacks and you guys are cracking up going, oh, look at that. You got the limited edition, unlimited supply of the limited edition select yarn. And I do. I have a lot of it now. And I probably have enough to make this. This looks very 70s to me, but I really dig it. I love it. Change up the colors, do whatever you want with it. This is a wow basket. So just a basket to put more yarn in, or laundry or blankets or whatever you want to do. This is using the yarn Wool Ease Wow. That's a jumbo weight. So big yarns mean very fast projects, very fast. This ottoman, and I've always wanted to do an ottoman. Now this looks to me, it says it's crochet. It says it's crochet. It kind of looks like a knitting stitch right there. This is using the Wool Ease Wow, but just a, super fun little ottoman. And it basically shows you just make the 2 panels, one going that way and one going that way. And you just stitch it together. Seriously, how cute is that? And then they got the little pillows, also using the Lion's Brand Wool Ease Wow. Now, I have seen a lot of these yarns come up in the Santa sacks. So if you have some on hand, you might want to pick yourself up a copy of this book. I found it on Amazon. It just popped up and said, hey, are you interested in this? It's a brand new release, so I will include the notes below. I think it might have been like $12.95. It says right here it was $12.95. But again, it is by Selena Baca. So, and it's also sponsored by Lions Brand. So, you know, the patterns are going to be good. It's nice and easy, but honestly, I think I can see myself making pretty much everything in this book. Now, these two books, they're not brand new. But being that it is National Crochet Month, I thought, well, gotta be doing some crochet. So as you know, I'm making this sweater for my son, right? And this is very easy, granny square strip or granny strip all the way across. His girlfriend picked out a picture, picked out a shirt, this one. And I was like, and I think I mentioned this last week. I'm like, I don't know what that stitch is. What is that? It is called Filet Crochet, my friends. Filet Crochet. And it was actually came about back in the 1910s and the 1920s. And I'm like, oh no, oh my God, it looked intense. And they used it to make curtains, tablecloths, clothing garments, but it was very dense using the very, very, very tiny needles. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know about this. However, I was like, all right, that's what you want, friend. And I think this yarn is going to work really well for it. Now, in the authentic, back in the 10s and 20s, they actually used more like crocheted thread. It was a weight of like 1 or 2. I'm not doing that. This is a weight of 3. It's going to be just fine. It says here, filet crochet was first developed as a method of making lace trimmings for dresses, household linens using very, very fine threads, cotton or linen, and small steel crochet hooks. Like these guys, these here. I do not have time for that, my friends. This is actually, oh my gosh, I can't even read it. This is a size 1. This is a size 1. I don't think, I could be wrong. I don't even think they go any lower than that. This is also a size 1. No, thank you. No, 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 no. But I could use that for like pulling yarn through something. Anyways, so I found this book on Amazon and it wasn't cheap. It's a spiral bound book, but it is called Stitch Collection Filet Crochet. Now you guys know what I'm talking about when I say filet crochet. This wasn't cheap and it wasn't new. It was an older book, but you know, sometimes these older books are out of print, but I did like that it was spiral bound. It's a very good reference book. And it shows you the kind of yarns to use and the gauge that you need to use. And they're talking mesh, not even yarn, people. It's called a mesh. It's so small. But this book was called Stitch Collection, More Than 70 Designs with Easy to Follow Charts. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to make this shirt for her using a filet crochet. And I'm just going to find a square because on this shirt that she wants, it's a series of squares. And I'm going to find a square that looks similar to what was in the pattern or something that doesn't look, you know, cutesy, not hearts or ducks or anything like that, or anchors. So you could use this. And, you know, you could do these in like a larger yarn, but they have spots and waves. But I liked zigzags. So I'm going to find a pattern in here that I think is going to work for that shirt. And that's what I'm going to do. But it's, you know, see, these are actually okay. Like Norwegian flowers, things like that. And then they also have like ducks and trucks. So if you wanted to make a blanket for a baby or something along those lines, they have roses and hearts. I will include the link for this book as well. It also includes borders. So I liked, because I figured once I get the hang of the technique, which is really just a series of single crochets in a block, and then you move into like an open space, which would be like, you know, chain 1 or something like that. And that's how you get that definition, that basically that's pretty much what it is. So it's not difficult. Here's some other ones that look interesting. It's not going to be difficult to understand. It's not like in using any special stitches. The specialty comes in with the size of the hook and the size of the yarn. So I'm just going to do this, but you can do it on a larger scale. You could do this with a weight of a 3 yarn if you wanted to make like a baby blanket, or you could do it with a weight of a 4 if you really wanted to. Something like that looks really good. I liked the way the book was laid out. So it shows you the book, shows you the pattern. It shows you the repeat here. And it shows you the charts and then how you can mix and match this with other patterns in the book to come up with that look. And so I appreciate, and then I always love charts. To me, those are just universal. And it's got some really good borders. So this is a vintage kind of crochet. I thought this book was a great way to understand the pattern, understand the nuances of filet crochet, and then come up with some really cool ideas. So this guy here, and if you're interested at all in learning more about this, I will include the link below to this. There are some great stuff on Pinterest. It's a little bit hard to find. It's definitely more of a niche sort of a crochet. So if crochet is a niche, then filet crochet is like one of those little niches. And that's what's so great about crochet is you can do, like you can do the filet crochet, you can do Tunisian crochet, you can do your standard, zigzags or chevrons, and there's all different kinds of styles and patterns and stitches within the main frame of what is crochet. But then there's these little breakoffs, right? Like the filet or the Tunisian or the Irish lace, different things like that. This is another nuance little area. But again, we're talking about crochet this month, National Crochet Month, is this freeform crochet. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's popped up on my Instagram and my Pinterest a couple times. I'm like, that looks interesting. Whereas this is precision crochet, right? This is definitely precision. Freeform is just let it fly, friends. Just let it go. Just do whatever you feel, And I was like, that's kind of cool. So this is like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And I found this book, again, on Amazon. This was not new. I think I even had to get this from like a used bookstore on Amazon. But I saw some stuff on Pinterest and I thought, I really want to kind of learn about freeform crochet. I have a lot of really thick, funky yarns that have, funky stuff coming out of them, and some real nubby yarns like this guy. And this, one of my knit picks, this yarn here, these are all just things that are just sitting just right here. And I thought, all right, I'm going to get this a look-see. So this book is called Freeform Knitting and Crochet. So it does both, and it comes up with different patterns. It got a lot of really good reviews. I'm trying to find a good picture. So like here, basically with Freeform, you can do pictures. Like you see my little baby, my Molly girl back there, I could do a Freeform rendition of that painting in crochet if I wanted to. And here it shows some different things you can do here. You can do flowers. I've seen a lot of like underwater, almost looks like an aquarium. Look, you can do mosaics, prisms, kaleidoscopes, that kind of thing. So again, this is very kind of like out there, free form, right? I mean, even look at the cover of the book. Now, you probably wouldn't use this for a whole entire pattern, but you could use this as an embellishment or a design on something. But like here, now this is a freeform crochet. And they're just using a lot of fun, funky novelty yarns. Here's another one that looks pretty interesting. So yeah, this is cool. So this book is from Jenny Dowd. She is from New South Wales, Australia. She completed 6 years at an art school in machine knitting. She's lectured on color design and creative knitting all around Australia. So my friends, my peeps who are in Australia, this is for you. Because you're always like, you don't have anything from there. And I'm so sorry, man. I apologize. But when I find good stuff from your neck of the world, Australia, New Zealand, I'm going to bring it to you. It's all about that, right? Let's see. Now, in 1997, she discovered the wonderful medium of scrumbling or freeform crochet. Scrumbling crochet. That's a word. Scrumbling crochet, freeform crochet it's also called, with the only equipment required being a hook and lots of yarn. She now combines knitting with crochet in her freeform work, and since 2000, she has been teaching the scrumbling technique throughout Australia and selling freeform designs in Australia and the USA. Yeah, I love it. So if you just have some really cool, funky, those eyelash yarns, you're like, what am I going to do with that? Oh, Funky FX. Huh. So that's a whole chapter, Funky FX. And here they're adding like clay. I mean, it's absolutely endless what you can do. Here's just a basic hat that they made, and then they added some stuff to it. And that might not be your bag, and that's okay. That's what's so great about this platform is that you know, there's sort of like space for everybody. If you're into the size 1 crochet hook and the real small stuff like this, or if you're into the bulky and you want something to do really fast, then this is for you, right? Or if you want to do garments or amigurumi or freeform, that's what I think I love. Okay, now this top, this is pretty cool, I have to say. Let me see, there's another picture of it. That is cool. I could be rocking something like that. I could absolutely rock something like that. And so this book has some tutorials, and then it's got some patterns. And this was called The Scarf That Grew. And so you're going to be seeing some stuff come out of this in the coming months. Here's just a really freeform scarf. International Crochet Month, people, and we're going international. This is from Australia. This book, I don't know where this book is from, probably the US. This book is written by Betty Barnden. She is a freelance needlecraft designer whose crochet designs have appeared in many popular magazines and been published by prestigious yarn companies. She's also the author of the best-selling book, The Crochet Stitch Bible, The Embroidery Stitch Bible, and the Encyclopedia of Cross-Stitch Techniques. I have her book, The Cross Stitch Bible, and I can absolutely attest to it. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. So these are the new 3 books that I have added to my library. Isn't that pretty? So happy International Crochet Month. I thought these were interesting. I wanted to bring them to you, show you what is inspiring me, what I'm finding in the little corners of the world that I'm finding these fun things in. So if any of these things interest you, I'll include all the links below to these books. Check them out, take a look, see, you know, and then we'll keep talking about them. But like I said, one of the great things about crochet is just how vast it is. All right, well, that's all I have for my whips and what I've got going on right now. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing another Happy Mail video this week, talking about all the fun stuff that I got and what I'm going to be doing with it. Thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't already done it, it's free to you. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any of the videos that I do. They just pop up right in your feed, as opposed to you just like stumbling across them. Tell your friends about us. Tell us what we're doing. We're having so much fun. Let me know about the things that I've got going on. If you like them, what your input is. If you liked my crazy kimono, I want to hear about that too. Hopefully that didn't hurt your eyes as much as my Styles cardigan back over there. So, you know, whatever. And I'll see you again next week. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains. And as always, I'll see you soon.